Welcome back, everyone, to today's lecture on volcanic hazards. While volcanoes are fascinating geological features, they pose significant dangers to nearby communities. Today, we're going to explore the various hazards associated with volcanic activity and how scientists work to predict eruptions and to protect lives and property. Excellent. So, volcanoes release several dangerous gases, including carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and fluorine. And these gases can have both local and global impacts. Locally, they create acid rain, which can damage vegetation and infrastructure. Globally, volcanic aerosols can affect our climate. For example, when Mount Pinatubo erupted in 1991, it ejected so much material into the atmosphere that it actually lowered global temperatures by about half a degree centigrade for over a year. Now, while lava flows are perhaps the most iconic volcanic hazard, they typically cause more property damage than loss of life. Their relatively slow movement usually allows people time to evacuate. However, when lava flows reach populated areas, they can destroy everything in their path. And this is what we've seen in Hawaii's Kilauea eruptions, where entire neighborhoods have been consumed by lava. Now, violent eruptions can eject massive columns of pyroclastic material and gases, reaching heights of 16 kilometers or more. The resulting ash fall can blanket vast areas, collapsing roofs, contaminating water supplies, and causing respiratory problems. It can also disrupt air traffic, as we saw in the 2010 Iceland eruption, when flights all across Europe were grounded due to the ash. Now, perhaps the most terrifying volcanic hazard is pyroclastic flow. This is a high-speed avalanche and superheated gases, ash, and rock fragments that can move at speeds of up to 700 kilometers per hour. That is extremely fast. In 1902, a pyroclastic flow from Mount Pelée on the Caribbean island of Martinique killed nearly 28,000 inhabitants of the town of Saint-Pierre in just moments, leaving only a handful of survivors. Volcanic mud flows called lahars are fast-moving slurries of mud and boulder that form when volcanic material mixes with water. Now it's this fast-moving hot water mud coming down a mountainside. In 1985, on Colombia's mountain called the Nevado del Ruiz volcano, it produced a lahar that traveled nearly 50 kilometers and killed more than 20,000 people in the town of Amero. What makes lahars particularly dangerous is their ability to strike communities far from the volcano itself. Because it's mixed with water, it can travel quite fast and quite far. Now, volcano monitoring has started occurring about the 1970s. Since many volcanoes can lie dormant for hundreds of years between eruptions, their hazards aren't always evident. Yet millions and millions of people live near potentially active volcanoes. Since the 1970s, scientists have worked to develop better prediction methods. Now, some of these methods include using tiltmeters to detect subtle changes in a volcano's slope. They also measure variations in gas composition, which often change before an eruption. They monitor seismic activities like earthquakes because earthquakes frequently precede an eruption. They also observed changes in lava domes. So the shape of the lava dome, such as swelling, which can indicate a pressure building beneath the surface. And these measures and methods have significantly improved our ability to forecast eruptions and save lives in a timely manner. Now, in spring of 1980, Mount St. Helens in Washington state erupted with relatively little warning. The eruption devastated an area of 500 square kilometers. It ejected billions of kilograms of volcanic ash into the atmosphere. It produced pyroclastic flows reaching 8 kilometers from the volcano. It generated massive lahars that flowed into the river. It reduced the mountain's elevation by more than 390 meters, and it caused over a billion in economic and property losses. Lastly, it tragically claimed 57 lives. Now, here's an image of the before and after the eruption of Mount St. Helens. Now, interestingly, compared to other eruptions like Mount Pinatubo, Mount St. Helens eruption wasn't particularly large. Today, Mount St. Helens continues to show activity, and there is actually a new lava dome forming within the crater left by the 1980 eruption. Now, as we understanding volcanic hazards is crucial for communities living in volcanic regions. Though improved monitoring and emergency planning has occurred, we can reduce the impact of these powerful natural events using these prediction methods. And these prediction methods are getting better every day with improved technology. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture.